Damn right.
Narcos Season 3 is currently available to stream on Netflix and is the first season of Narcos to not have Pablo Escobar, who in the first two seasons was really sort of the main focal point of the series as a whole. And in this season, we now find ourselves with Javier Pena, one of the main characters of the last two seasons, played by the incredibly underrated, awesome Pedro Pascal. Him and the DEA and a couple of new characters, they are tracking down and trying to bring down the Cali cartel. Now, these guys were obviously a big part of the last season of Narcos, but now they are the main focus of the series. Everyone is trying to take them down because they've really risen up after the death of Pablo Escobar. Now, just to let you guys know, I'm at school, which is why I'm in this room. This is my new room for like the next, I don't know how long, but this explains the location change. But now that that's out the way, what did I think of Narcos Season 3? Well, there are obviously some differences and some similarities between Season 3 and the first two seasons. And one of the things that I feel has been carried over to Season 3 is that gritty sense of realism that the first two seasons accomplished so well. Now, obviously, this is a show that is based on a true story, so they obviously have to kind of keep it relatively realistic. But through the filmmaking, and through the acting, and through the script, everything feels so real. Nothing ever feels fake or done just for the sake of drama or done for the camera. All the actors, I feel like, are trying to portray their characters in the most accurate way possible. And I really respect that. I also feel that for a show that has such a realistic, almost documentary-esque feeling to it, it is actually really stylish. Obviously, the opening credits and the song, one of my favorite opening credits to a TV show, and the music choices and the cinematography and all that stuff is really, really on point and really stylish. And I feel like that style adds to the level of enjoyment that you have for the show, because obviously a really compelling story and some really good acting is great, but the music and the cinematography, and they all come together to make what is really a gritty and realistic, but at the same time really fun and stylish, slick looking show. And that's something that you don't really see in a lot of shows nowadays. Also, the thing I love most by far about Narcos as a series is that it really does not feel like Hollywoodized or American, if you know what I mean. Because like I said, the feeling of grittiness and realism, which is kind of evened out by this really cool style, the great acting, all of it, it never really feels over the top. It never feels like it's done just for the dramatic purpose. It's done to tell a story. It's done to further the characters. And that is, you know, that's what makes this show so good, and that's what sets it apart from other, I don't know, crime dramas of its genre, you know? And that's why I really like this show, is that it feels different. It doesn't feel like more of the same. I feel like the biggest difference between Season 3 and the last two seasons, obviously, is the fact that Pablo Escobar is no longer there. And you have these four guys who run the Cali cartel, and they all each contribute to the story. They all each have their own character arcs and their own subplots, and they're all very, very interesting. There wasn't that one subplot where I was just like, you know, that was boring. There wasn't one like that, because it was all written so well and you always care about these characters. Even though they're not good people, you still kind of are interested and invested in their characters and you want to see where they go. My favorite character, I would say, is Jorge, who I think is such a badass, and he is my favorite character probably in the series as a whole. He has a lot more to do than I thought he would have, because I really thought this series would be more focused on Javier Pena, played brilliantly by Pedro Pascal. He gives a brilliant performance. Oberyn Martell, right? The guy's a legend, okay? And he's in the upcoming Kingsman movie. He's definitely getting recognition now. Pedro Pascal in the show is brilliant. But Jorge, I mean, the guy, I don't know what the name of the actor is, but he's just really good. He's such a conflicted and complex character, and he has such an interesting character arc. And all of the characters have interesting character arcs. And the two new DEA agents, Feistel and Van Ness, they're really good, right? All the characters, I feel like, have a purpose. They all are there to contribute to the story, and they all get fleshed out really well. We all get to spend time with each and every one of them. And the show's dedication to character is another thing I feel sets it apart from other shows. Now, I do have a couple of problems with Narcos Season 3. The big one being episode structure. I feel like the first two episodes are kind of boring, and I was thinking about giving up, to be honest. And then episode 3 came in and it was really good. And then episode 4 came in and it was really good. Episode 4 I loved. And it gets really, 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 really good. And then up to that, like, building raid, that was insane. And so I feel like the first two episodes could and should have been a little bit more compelling. And then, you know, as it goes up, it should have built and built and built and built. And obviously it has, you know, peaks in the middle. But the end, I felt, was severely rushed. I think that that is my biggest problem with this show, is that the ending is very, very rushed. It, like, all of the stuff that happens that you need to know basically happens in the time frame of about 5 to 6 minutes, and that was it just didn't feel right. We have 10 episodes. We've spent a lot of time with these characters, and I feel like the payoff should have taken its time a little bit more to create that sense of finality. Now, whether or not there is going to be a season 4, I'm not sure. They leave some of the plot lines in the air in terms of the Colombian Cali stuff. But with Javier Peña's character, they also kind of leave certain stuff in the air while doing a good enough job to, create a sense of finality with this season. So I'm not really sure whether or not there will be a 4th season. I hope there will be, because this is just really good TV, and I wish that these guys would do more, because I'm interested to see more. Obviously, the direction that they're going in seems very interesting. I don't want to spoil it too much for you guys, but it does certainly seem very interesting, and I am definitely interested to see where they go next. I hope there's a season 4. I thoroughly enjoyed this season of Narcos. A couple of, structural problems, but aside from that, this is a brilliantly acted, brilliantly written, brilliantly directed show, and I'm gonna give it an A-. Guys, thank you as always for watching this review. I know I've been away for a while, I haven't uploaded in like a week. Obviously now that I'm at school, I can't do as much stuff. I still will be reviewing my, my Star Wars series. Hopefully I'll get Attack of the Clones out soon. I'll obviously be reviewing any movie I get to see. I hope I get to see some, but yeah, anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you.